Straight ahead on CCX News, a windy wallop. Nearly 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts caused damage across the Northwest Metro. Plus, the right to repair. The bill that pits small independent shops against tech giants. And later.
So if you love books, this is a great place to come.
Despite dwindling bricks and mortar stores, there are still places to find used books. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. It wasn't quite the strength of a hurricane, but the winds sure packed a powerful punch.
50-mile-per-hour winds Tuesday and Wednesday left behind damage across the Northwest Metro. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
You can see and hear Mother Nature's wrath. This is near a 610 overpass in Brooklyn Park. Old Glory is really taking a beating.
We're still seeing gusts up to even 45 miles an hour around the county.
The wind is no joke. High gusts took down a light pole near Plymouth City Hall. The powerful blast had its way with the Burger King sign in Brooklyn Park. And in Robbinsdale, blustery conditions are to blame for yanking a huge evergreen right out of the ground.
Right now, the wind gust is about 30 miles per hour in Robbinsdale, but it feels much worse. At times, it's hard to breathe, and of course, it's a bad hair day.
If you think these winds are unusually wicked, you're correct. We don't get these types of gusts very often, normally once or twice a year.
What we call this type of storm is non-convective wind. So it's not associated with thunderstorms. It's associated with a extremely deep low pressure system.
On Tuesday, high winds deflated the Maple Grove Sports Dome, and windy conditions today are hampering repairs because contractors can't inflate the dome to fix it until the winds die down.
I was surprised. Our expectation is that it can withstand whatever conditions are out there.
While some complain about the windy weather, others are taking this blustery blast with a smile.
It's Minnesota. It's not cold. It's all relative.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Plymouth Public Works reported 7 downed trees that were blocking roads and trails. All of the scattered debris has since been removed.
In Brooklyn Park, the wind is one reason firefighters took extra precautions at an apartment fire on Tuesday afternoon. A fire in a bathroom exhaust fan was visible through the roof when firefighters first arrived in the 7100 block of 72nd Lane. Extra help was called in from neighboring cities, partly because of the fear that the fire could spread quickly along the roof if the wind gusts got hold of it. Firefighters were able to contain the fire to 2 units. One resident says he got his family out as quickly as possible.
My girl, she had taken my 2-year-old son up to the bathroom and she smelled like smoke. So, and the upstairs power didn't work, so I just told him to get out. I didn't know what was going on.
There were no injuries, and Red Cross volunteers are assisting 2 families who were displaced, including 4 adults and 3 children.
When a fire or other disaster strikes, the Red Cross depends on local volunteers to respond.
We respond to more than a disaster a day in our region, so we know the need's going to be there.
Red Cross volunteers help neighbors in need. For example, when flooding hit the area last fall, the storm season is starting early in the state now, and there's fast-track training coming up this weekend in Brooklyn Park to become a Red Cross volunteer.
When a disaster happens, they get up and they've got the training and the materials they need. They go out and they meet with that family who is most often having one of the worst days of their lives.
And to sign up to become a volunteer, go to redcross.org/MN. And the local training begins Friday night at the Brooklyn Park Fire Department on 85th Avenue.
2 unusual fires within a week have prompted a warning from the West Metro Fire Department. Both involved burning incense. This picture shows what happened on a deck when burning incense spread to nearby papers. Fire officials say it's unusual to have 2 fires started by incense within just a few days.
If you're going to use incense, just like candles, make sure that they're in glass or metal containers. You don't have combustibles around them. Keep it free and clear, and then don't just walk away from it and don't pay attention to it. Make sure that you're in that room, and if you're going to walk away, make sure that you blow it out or put it out.
West Metro is also reminding smokers to be careful with ashes on outdoor decks, especially with the windy, dry weather.
The abuse of opioid painkillers remains a big problem, one that has grown rapidly among teens. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman made that clear to the Robbinsdale City Council on Tuesday night.
So many people have too many drugs in their house. Kids get into them. I mean, if you still have teenage kids, and I have one, 18, and it's time for college, you know, you have to lock the medicine cabinet because the kids go in there, go to the bathroom, and look for it.
Hennepin County Attorney's Office has put a greater emphasis on prosecuting drug dealers whose sales led to death. Its efforts have resulted in 7 convictions over the last 2 years.
The Terrace Theater has been demolished. The neighboring Terrace Mall is next. The Robbinsdale City Council has approved a demolition permit, the final step for the former mall that opened in 1979. The tenants have all moved out, including the most recent occupants, the new Panda Chinese restaurant and Rainbow Clothing. The mall was also home to a Rainbow Foods grocery store, which closed back in 2013. The demolition, which could begin in a couple weeks, will make way for a Hy-Vee grocery store, coffee shop, and gas station. Minnesota lawmakers are considering a bill that would make it easier for tech stores to make repairs on your computers and smartphones.
The so-called Right to Repair bill would help small independent shops. But as Delane Cleveland reports, the proposal is getting pushback from the manufacturers themselves.
Technology is a part of our everyday lives. And unfortunately, our precious devices need repairs from time to time.
It's not too difficult. Usually you just gotta be careful of your screw placement. It can fry the board sometimes.
Whenever we break one of our prized possessions,
I dropped my phone, bounced off the concrete and shattered.
It can be a frustrating experience.
I was bummed out. I was thinking I'm gonna have to get a new phone, but the wife said there's an area where I can bring it to get it fixed, so drove over and dropped it off, and the guys are going to take care of me.
He's getting his phone fixed at Device Pit Stop in Maple Grove, which repairs phones, tablets, and computers.
It is interesting, though, when a new device comes out, there is sort of a race to see who can figure out how to fix it first and share that information online with the repair community.
They have to take those steps because the device manufacturers don't supply them with manuals, parts, and diagnostic information.
And a lot of times the manufacturers err on the side of replace versus repair. They want you to buy their newest product, they want you to replace your device, and those can be really expensive options for consumers.
Now, some Minnesota lawmakers say it's time for a change. A right to repair bill was introduced this year that would require tech manufacturers to sell parts, tools, and service manuals to independent shops like Device Pit Stop.
This bill will only help consumers get devices fixed quicker, easier, and at a better price.
On the flip side, manufacturers like Apple are lobbying hard against similar bills in other states, citing concerns over safety, security, and intellectual property.
Apple and other companies are very secretive, and they have a right to protect their property. But by publishing repair guides, I see that as different than giving away their secrets. You know, just because I know how to repair a screen on a Samsung phone doesn't mean I could go out and make my own Samsung phone.
It's a case lawmakers will have to make at the Capitol. In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Similar bills have been introduced in 7 other states. Well, coming up, a smart way to shop and save on used books. That's next in Money Savers.
And then a little bit later in sports, highlights from section playoff competition in girls and boys basketball.
But first, less wind on Thursday, temperatures in the 30s.
It is a sign of the times, fewer bookstores and fewer used bookstores.
But as reporter Shannon Slatton explains in today's Money Savers, there are still options to buy books for less.
When Half Price Books in Crystal closes its doors in mid-April, readers will be left with one less option to buy used books. But there are other ways to buy great books at great prices for great causes.
We have thousands of books, both adult and children's books, and we draw people from all over the state of Minnesota.
Kathy Fisher is one of the volunteers who helps with the Friends of the Plymouth Library book sale.
We have a huge book sale coming up. We have 6 book sales per year, so this is the second one that we've had this year.
Kathy gave us a sneak peek at the donated books for Saturday's sale, benefiting library programs.
We come here, we load up the boxes, and we haul them over to the library and unpack them. Volunteers unpack them. And then at the end of Friday, we're ready for the book sale.
The prices are good too.
The most we would ever charge for a hardcover book is $2.
If you are coming to the sale at the Plymouth Library for the first time, expect crowds early, but the best bargains late.
The last hour from 3 until 4 is a bag sale, and we hand out grocery bags, and you can fill up a grocery bag and buy it for $5.
But if you can't make one of the used book sales, you can always find a good price on used books at thrift stores like here at Arks Value Village.
We have a little bit of everything when it comes to books, and we also keep them very well categorized, so it's easier to shop.
Digging through books at thrift stores can be overwhelming, but volunteers keep the fiction section alphabetized by author and the nonfiction section grouped by category.
So if you're looking for a specific book, it's really easy to find.
Paperbacks are 79 cents and hardcovers $2.49. But on Mondays during March, all books are 50% off. Plus,
we've also introduced recently a bulk book pricing system where if you purchase 5 or more books, you'll be able to save some money that way.
With 100+ donations coming in every day, the book selection is fresh, and you can always find something new to read for less.
You will find that great book that you're looking for, or something that maybe you didn't expect to find.
For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
The Plymouth Book Sale is coming up this Saturday at the Plymouth Library. It opens to the general public, that is, at 10 in the morning. Still to come, 2 local high schools get ready for the state boys hockey tournament.
And that includes Maple Grove appearing in its 2nd ever appearance at state. John Jacobson has that and much more coming up next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The state boys hockey tournament is underway with Class A action. The puck drops Thursday for the AA tournament. As Jay Wilcox reports, Maple Grove is pumped up for its 2nd tournament appearance.
They're still playing in March, and it's an exciting thing for the senior-heavy Maple Grove team.
It's every high school hockey kid's dream, I tell you that. But once we won that game, I remember sitting in my car, I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. I was happy. I was just like, it was just a weird feeling. But obviously, I'm excited. I'll try and keep the nerves down, but it should be very fun.
The Crimson earned the 4th seed for the Class AA tournament, and the first-round matchup with Grand Rapids will be a study in contrasts in one way.
Got a phenomenal first line. Obviously, lots of D1 players. Other than that, I think we have more depth, but it's going to be a tough one. So.
They're good on the power play, and there's a lot of people that think they're the best line in the state. I think we've got a full team of good lines.
There's a little irony in the matchup. Maple Grove faces a Grand Rapids squad coached by former Osseo, Gophers, and NHL player Trent Klatt.
When these kids were little, I know they looked at Trent's picture over in the Osseo arena, and certainly kids have aspirations of playing at that level, and quite honestly, I'm excited about it. I'm glad for Trent, and Trent's a good coach, a great guy, and certainly to have that knowledge behind the bench is awesome, and the fact that he has ties to Osseo is even better.
These guys hope there will be many more state appearances to come for Maple Grove, and they want to take advantage of this opportunity. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Crimson face Grand Rapids in the final quarterfinal game of the day on Thursday. Face-off is scheduled for 8 p.m., but almost certainly will be later than that. Maple Grove's boys basketball team is also having a strong season. The Crimson opened what they hope is a long playoff run at home against Moorhead in the Section 8 4A quarterfinals. Brad Davison runs down a long rebound and gets it to Twine Pickford down low for 2. It's 15-8 Crimson. Davison takes a pass and beats his man off the dribble to score, extending Maple Grove's lead to 26-10. Then off the inbounds play, it's Davison open for a 3. He hits it on his way to a 23-point night. Crimson offense firing on all cylinders. Bubba Horton is open in the corner for a 3. Maple Grove builds a 55-29 lead on the Spuds at halftime. Much of the same in the second half. The ball is deflected off Davison right to an open Jack Hutchison, who hits a three. He scores 20 points. The Crimson win 91-48. They'll play Elk River Saturday afternoon at St. Cloud State. On Thursday night, the Park Center girls basketball team will take aim at a fourth consecutive trip to state when they meet Centennial for the Section 5 4A title. The Pirates are 23-5 and have won 13 straight games. The veteran team with plenty of postseason experience to draw on is playing very well right now.
We always want to play your best at the end of the season, and I think that's where we're at right now. We played really well Saturday, executed the game plan that our coaches gave us, and we just worked really hard and played really well.
I feel really good because we're like coming together and playing really well, and it's fun to like beat people and keep going in the playoffs. I'm excited and nervous. It's so fun to play in the playoffs.
To Clark. Park Center beat section final opponent Centennial back in January 69-55. The Cougars eliminated Champlin Park in the section semifinals. It's a team that presents a big challenge, literally, to the Pirates.
Yeah, they're obviously big, a whole lot bigger than us, and that size is going to be a difficulty. But we got to figure out a way to rebound against them. We got to figure out a way to get the pace up against them. They are a very talented team with a lot of playmakers.
Tip-off is at 7 o'clock Thursday night at Anoka High School. Wayzata and Hopkins play Thursday at Minneapolis Roosevelt for the Section 6 4A title. In Class A, two local teams went head-to-head in the Section 4 semifinals. 4th-seed Heritage Christian Academy faced top-seed Maranatha Christian Academy. The fast-paced first half. Haley Scott with a long pass. Maddie Torvey for the Eagles bucket there. The Mustangs in transition. It's Jacqueline Jarnott ahead to Brianna Smeestead, and she gives Maranatha a 26-25 lead. Heritage goes on a mini run. Torvey scores underneath. She had 16 in the first half. Kylie Post's first shot is off, but she gets her own rebound and scores, plus a foul. It's a 1-point Heritage lead at halftime. Nice ball movement by Maranatha here. Sammy Payne to Jacqueline Jarnott for two. And then Jarnott will hit a three for a 10-point Mustangs lead. She scores 16 points in the second half. Heritage fights back. Morgan Meisner's three pulls the Eagles to within 3 points on this basket. But Maranatha never breaks, and the Mustangs move on to the section final Friday against Lester Prairie Holy Trinity with a 70-62 win. And that is it for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right. Thanks, John. Finally, March Madness arrives at a community center near you.
We'll be right back. Finally, Crimson Spirit is alive and well.
It is an exciting time to be a Maple Grove High School hockey player. Fans lined up outside the Maple Grove Community Center to cheer on the team as they boarded the bus for the trip to St. Paul. And as John mentioned, Maple Grove plays Thursday night at 8 o'clock against Grand Rapids. Good luck to them.
Absolutely.
It does it for us.
We'll see you tomorrow.